Hi Dream Team, welcome to the Theme 6 2018 past paper answers. Okay, so Theme 6 2018, well done for watching. Okay, so Theme 6 development and resource issues. Study the table below, top 10 countries by GDP. Okay, gross domestic product in 2016, and obviously we know it's going from highest to lowest. The question says calculate the range of GDP values shown in the table. The important bit, show your working in the space below because it's 2 marks. So you know you're going to get a mark for the answer, but you're also going to get a mark for the workings as well. As a result of that then, we go to, sorry, just aligned the video a minute. So, calculate the range. Remember, you are going to have a calculator as well, so this should be super quick. You are going to have a calculator. So the range is the highest, take away the lowest. So in this case, our workings would be 18,562, take away 1,532. Okay? And you just put it into the calculator and your answer will be 17,030. So your answer will be 17,030. Okay, all right, so the next question then is give 2 limitations, so problems with using total GDP as a measure of economic development for 2 marks. So 1 mark, 2 marks. So 2 problems with using GDP. Now the first one, GDP, okay, so all the different numbers, it doesn't show any variation within the country. It doesn't show that there may be a divide between rich and poor, that there may be any differences. So my first point is going to be that it doesn't show differences in wealth within a country. A country. 2 then, it may be that, I don't know, let's take the US and China. Okay, their GDPs are quite high compared to others, but are their standards of living, their cost of living also quite high? Is Canada's GDP lower, but is their cost of living higher? It doesn't take into account the cost of living, which will also impact how much money people have. So it doesn't take into account the cost of living. Okay? But because it says give 2 for 2 marks, 1, 2, done. Next question then. Next question. Complete the paragraph. Oh, can we see? Yeah. Complete the paragraph by selecting the correct words or phrases from the box for 3 marks. 1, 2, 3 marks. Now remember, do not leave these blank because the answers are given to you. So give it a go if you're not sure, but you will be. So, placing countries in rank order of their GDP along a line is known as the development gap. Well, no, if they're along a line, no. Human Development Index, no, that's a development indicator. Higher, lower, middle aren't appropriate. It is a continuum. So placing countries in a rank order of their GDP from highest to lowest is a continuum of economic development. Okay, of economic development. Even if you weren't sure on that one, you could have worked it out because the others don't fit. The others don't work in the sentence. Multinational corporations, MNCs, are more likely to have their headquarters in countries towards the what part of this scale? Well, they're more likely to be, their headquarters are more likely to be in HICs towards the higher end of the scale. because they place their headquarters in HICs, as we know, because those countries have got education systems, universities, where they can produce graduates or train people up who will be responsible for the multinational companies. Whereas agriculture is more likely to be the main source of income for countries towards the lower part of this scale. Agriculture is predominantly in LICs. Okay. Now we've got another suggestion from the photograph. So remember, we need to see what we're talking about in the photograph. So study the photograph below, a high street in China. Suggest one way in which the photograph shows that China is closing the development gap. Is 2 marks, so we know we've got to explain that one thing. We've got to be able to see it. Okay, the first thing we can see is Toys R Us and McDonald's, so we could use that. The other point we could use is the cars. So we're going to choose one of those. If you chose the MNCs, you could say the multinational companies, such as Toys R Us and McDonald's, show that there is an increase in investment in China from foreign companies. Okay, so that could be your point there. On the other hand, if you wanted to talk about the cars, you could say that the picture shows that there is a lot high car ownership, or there's a lot of cars, which shows that there must be an increased income or increased disposable income. People have got the money to pay for the cars. Okay, so you could have 1 point or the other for that one. Right. On to the next then. Obviously in the exam yours will be in colour, of course, because the next question is quite hard without colour, because it says name the mapping technique. Name the mapping technique for 1 mark. This is supposed to be in colour. All the different countries compared to their amount is in different colour. So that's a choropleth map. Choropleth map. Okay? Obviously it would be in colour in the exam. So give three ways in which the map could be adapted so it's easier to understand for 3 marks. 1, 2, 3. Now I've emailed you the mark scheme so you can see all of the answers to this, because there is loads, but you could, to make it easier, add the names of the countries. That could make it easier. Add exact data for each country. That can make it easier. Data for each country, because at the moment you just know that it's within one of these brackets, one of these groups. So for each country. Or you could label the lines of longitude and latitude. So you can see the equator and the tropics, longitude and latitude. Okay. Now the next question is a little one that actually sets you up for the essay. So, what is irrigation? Tick 1 box for 1 mark. We know that irrigation is supplying water to the land to help the crops grow. Okay, simple mark there, and that sets us up nicely for our next question. Here we go, our first essay. Explain why population growth and agricultural change lead to increasing demand for water, for 8 marks. We know as soon as there are 3 marks, we have our 3 marks here for spelling, punctuation and grammar and use of key terminology. Okay, so this 3 means that if you write well in this essay and you write spelling, punctuation and grammar correctly, and you include key terms where appropriate, you will get an additional 3 marks. Now your 8 marks is coming from explaining why. So we're not weighing up, we're just saying why something is happening. Okay? Population growth and agricultural change lead to increasing demand for water. To get 8 marks, you need to talk about both, not one or the other. You need to talk about both. So, agriculture, you might want to do 2 paragraphs, it's up to you. I'm just going to plan it here. Agriculture and population growth. Obviously, they're both linked, and you can make that link because they clearly are linked. The bigger the population is, the more agriculture you're going to need having going on for food. Okay. So, agriculture. Well, there's an increasing use of irrigation, and that's where that question before was a big clue. It's an increasing use of irrigation, which is obviously using a huge amount of water. And also there's an increasing use of dams and reservoirs to get that water. We talked about the Hoover Dam and how the Hoover Dam is being used, and obviously they're in a state of drought, but it's being used more than it is filling up. So in terms of agriculture, increased irrigation and increased use of water from dams and reservoirs. And in terms of population, increase global population to 7.6 billion, right? People have got more money for goods. People are more developed. So we're using, if you think we eat more food now, we've got washing machines. We wash our cars. Some people have got pools. Okay? And ultimately, the more people there are, the more water for agriculture. Now, if you can think of any facts from our work that we've done in class on water, then of course add evidence, right? But you're not weighing up, you're saying that they use it for agriculture, they use it for population, and actually they both link together. The more people there are, the more water will be used for agriculture, because we need more food to feed the population. Okay, well done everyone. So we go on to our last question for theme 6. Now, it is a classic to what extent question. Now, ready? The Lesotho Highlands Water Project is a large-scale international water transfer scheme. It moves a large amount of water, from the mountains in Lesotho to the neighbouring country of South Africa. Study the resources below. So we've got a situation, we've got a large dam in Lesotho, which is transferring water to South Africa. Okay, so we've got a lady here, again it would be easier to see in colour, who looks like she's getting dirty water from a puddle perhaps, or maybe they've dug that, and we have the dam here of water. Right, we're hearing from a villager in Lesotho. We have lost our land due to it being flooded when the reservoir was created. We've received very little money in compensation. We have to walk to collect water and carry it in buckets. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a picture here. Although this dam is providing water to South Africa, in Lesotho, it's flooded the land and they haven't got enough money back for that, and they aren't using the water. They have to walk to collect the water and carry it home in buckets, which is what I assume they're doing here, and it looks like dirty water. Lesotho government minister. The income we receive from selling water to South Africa is around 75% of our income. This pays for medical centres and roads. It is vital. Okay, so I get here, 75% of their income is from this, which is helping them to develop. And if they've got roads, that means they can get medical care to people.
Sorry,
oh no. Okay, so you may have noticed there was a small interruption then. I'm not sure how much of it got recorded, but I don't know how to crop videos or anything, so I'm just going to plough on and hope that it wasn't too much of a disruption. But somebody came in the classroom and I got so scared, I think, anyway, caught me off guard. So, with the pictures then, it's already giving us, this is a negative here. They're going to collect dirty water in Lesotho. Well, that's not good when they've got all of this water here. But then the positive of this is this water is available for South Africa. But then the villager gives lots of negatives about how they've lost their land and they haven't been compensated for it. And they've got to collect water, and this is the dirty water that they're collecting. But on the flip side, the positive from the government, it provides 75% of their income, which means they can work their way out of poverty. They can slowly improve. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the question says the advantages of the Lesotho Highlands Water project are greater than the disadvantages for Lesotho. Okay, so we're focusing on Lesotho. The advantages are greater than the disadvantages. To what extent do you agree? Use evidence. Now, we have practiced these so much. To what extent do we agree? We're weighing up. We are arguing. Okay? Yes, we agree. No, we don't agree. We are going to use, you have to have the source near you, okay? So you'll have to be able to see the source. We are going to use loads of connectives. We're going to say, however, we're going to say, although, we're going to say, on the other hand. We're going to use evidence from the source. We're going to say for, against, for, against, for, against. We are going to come to a conclusion on our own opinion. Okay, so if you think the positives that you're going to talk about, it creates income for Lesotho. It actually creates 75% of their income. However, they lose their land in the process, and they get little compensation for that, so they don't get the money back for that, the people. Compensation. On the other hand, there is the potential, you could say, for hydroelectric power from the dam. Although water security, it's a good word to use, in Lesotho hasn't improved. They still don't have a good water source. Hasn't improved. They still have to walk for water. But in the long term, the money created by the dam can be used on healthcare and education. Okay, so you're weighing up, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, before you come to a conclusion. Make sure you use the facts from the source to support your answer. Well done for watching this video, everybody. Well done.